Hey guys, appreciate you coming out. Try to answer any questions I can.
Gavin, did he report in yesterday, and can you just talk about your plan for him this week?
Yeah, he did. He and his family got into town last night. He's going through all the onboarding right now, as far as physical, and he's done all the stuff for school. So he'll start classes tomorrow.
I know there's an acclimation period, right? Did he practice last night, and can he practice this week?
He can practice this week. He did not practice last night. Yeah, and just in general, like, this is a young man who played in a high school game 3 nights ago, right? So I'm taking it really slow. Get him going. People forget just because they're a great player, they're still a young person that's going away from home for the first time, and he's got to move into a dorm and do all that good stuff. So we'll give him a chance to get his feet on the ground here before I worry too much about any of the practice or that kind of stuff. I'm sure he'll want to. That's what football players like to do, get out there and play football. So we'll get to that as soon as we can.
Will he go to Syracuse with you guys, or you probably haven't determined that yet?
Haven't really even made that decision. Let me see I'm not sure if we can get him acclimated in time to do that, but and I don't know if you're allowed to travel. I haven't even looked at that yet, but we'll figure it all out.
What kind of learning curve is this for the coaching staff? Because obviously this is such a new situation. So what is this like for you guys trying to figure out how to navigate this process?
Well, it definitely is a new situation, right? He's the second player in, I think, the history of football, college football, to do it. So, look, it's, as I said, I don't know where I was here. I forget. I've talked so much, but college sports is changing, right? So you need to adapt, and we're doing our best to do that. He wanted to do this, as he and his family, and there's an avenue to do it. So we helped them, navigate that avenue. But it was his hard work that got it done, and now we just, now he's a member of the team, like every other member of the team.
I'll ask you about Syracuse after this, but
That's right.
9/11, 20-year anniversary. What do you remember about that? I think you guys were preparing to play California, practice that day, and then the Big East canceled it. You were a North Jersey guy, probably knew some people. What do you just remember? What stands out?
Yeah, I remember it like yesterday. I was at the board, on the board drawing. We're game planning third down for Cal, and it was one of the assistants outside came in and said a small commuter plane just flew into one of the towers. I said, "Oh man, everybody!" And then whatever it was, minutes later, they came back as no commuter plane. And then, as everybody, it was a scramble. We had coaches who had family members and wives that were working in the city. We had some players. We actually had 2 players whose moms were supposed to be in the towers that day, and thank God they weren't. But it was really surreal, and the only thing I knew to do, I was a very young head coach, right? It was my first year, was rally the guys in here. So we got all the players together, and just told them, this is what's happening. I can't tell you, I don't know any more than you do, but we're just going to stick together here. They wanted to be together, and that was a good thing. And I knew we weren't going to play, so there was no reason to. But they wanted to go out and just run around, get ants out of their pants. And I'll never forget, it was eerie. From our practice field, you could see the smoke on the horizon, and then everything that ensued afterward, obviously. But so many people that we all knew who lost their lives on 9/11. So certainly 20 years later, there's, we don't forget them. And, we're going to be doing something for a tribute to 9/11 as a team, going up to I think it's appropriate to playing a New York team, New Jersey and New York, right? The people that are around it the most. So, hopefully, we got to make sure everything comes in, but there's some uniform stuff that they had planned months back as a tribute. So hopefully that all works out.
we talked so much about fans being here. This is the first time you guys are traveling to a real road environment. What do you have to do to prepare for that?
Yeah, it's not only a real road environment, but it's probably one of the loudest road environments you can have because I believe it's the only dome in Division I, right? So, yeah, it's going to be loud. I remember, we obviously played there several years. Those keys jingling and jangling. I mean, it's going to be loud. So, we got to get ready for that noise. We practice with crowd noise all the time, but I think the crowd noise you pipe in over some speakers and the crowd noise that you're going to face in the dome are two different things. And we'll be prepared for it, but until you go through it, you don't know how your team's going to respond.
Just after reviewing the film, I mean, how would you evaluate the offensive line the other day?
Inconsistent. Yeah, I think we did some things well, and then there was other times I didn't like the way we played. And it's not even a technical, it's just an overall, we need to play more aggressively, and we will. Coach Orrick is a great O-line coach. He'll get those guys doing it. We were a guy or two away from having some big runs, but, you can stand up here and say that all you want. They made the tackle.
I guess what did you see from their run game? I know they had a pretty Syracuse big night. It seemed like they kind of just let DeVito manage the game and run from there.
Well, they have a very complex run game in that it's triple option football by another name. They're reading it, they're throwing it. DeVito can beat you with his arm and his feet, and he extends the plays. They'll run the zone read and then carry it all the way out and then throw it to the receiver. So you have to count for everybody. It's not the traditional wishbone triple option, but it's got all the elements of it. They're running RPOs. They're doing everything that challenges you defensively, not only in the math of the quarterback running the ball, but spreading you, making you cover, 53 and a third. And that's college football, So as I say to people, what's the difference? A lot of the guys are my friends in the NFL. What's the biggest difference? I said, well, playing defense here, you have to defend 3 plays every play. That's hard.
It's a cliche, week 1 to week 2, the improvements that you make. Where do you need to improve the most? But just in general, as an offense, is there one area where you really need to get better from week 1 to week 2?
Yeah, I don't think it's a cliche. I think it's truth. I think it's a factual statement, right? Because in college football, you don't have preseason games, so you line up and you play for 20 whatever days, 30 days, but you never go other than scrimmage yourself. So now after a game, you get to see the things that didn't come up in training camp because you weren't in a game. Responding to the crowd, responding to the celebration. Celebrations are great, but if it gets you off your chop, then they're not so great, right? So all those things I think we're going to improve on, just how you run a game as a player. And I tell people all the time, coaching or playing a game is a very, very intense 3.5 to 4 hours. If you're doing it the right way, you're constantly focused. I mean, very rarely do I ever, after a game, win or lose, plop into a chair and say, man, I feel great. I mean, you're shot. And, I think the players physically as well. So, that's probably the biggest thing, the operation of the game. Sure, we got to throw and catch better, we got to tackle better, we got to run better, block better, all those things. But I think just now that we got one under our belt, now how are we going to become a more efficient, smoother operating machine on game day?
Do you feel it when Noah runs like he did on Saturday, it brings a totally different dimension to the offense?
Without a doubt. Yeah, one of the things Noah brings to the table is he like Steele, he can beat you with his feet. And what does that mean? Well, he convert a third down. Like those are backbreakers, right? You got everything covered. You got pressure on him, and somehow, some way he gets out of there and finds his way to the stick. That's what can really, as a defense, get you. So we rely on that. Not only can he do it, but that's part of what we do.
Backfield by committee, we kind of talked about. I think you initially said during camp that you thought that Isaiah was going to get, a good deal amount. But, did Kyle earn some more? I think last year you had 3 guys who, behind Isaiah who got a piece of the pie, so to speak. Did Kyle earn more? And is that kind of like you want to do more of a backfield by committee, throughout the year?
I think every game takes on a personality of its own. I'm really pleased, as I said Saturday, that we have a really good running back room, and not only by a talent standpoint, but a togetherness. Their main thing they want to win games, and I'm not sure how this game will go compared to last game. Kyle did play well, but so did Aaron, and I thought Pop played well. Isaiah is our starting tailback. That's the way it is, and he is the guy that I want to see carry the ball. I think he gets stronger and stronger. There were some things they were doing defensively Saturday that weren't revolutionary, but that gave us a little bit of a problem. So I hope that we can get Pop going. But these guys are the same. I mean, they have an unusual. They run that a 3-3-5 type deal, but it's unusual. They get into it and out of it different ways. So we have a lot of work to do. And as I told the team, there's one Tuesday, there's one Wednesday, and there's one Thursday. That's it. And then we get on a plane and got to go play. So there's not, as you do that first game, have an extra day to get ready. An extra Tuesday, an extra Wednesday, an extra Thursday. So in an unusual defense, we have 3 days to get ready for it. That'll be a challenge.
Just with Johnny Lang in the game that he had the other day, I mean, what have you seen from him as he's continued to evolve and improve in this multi-positional role that he's playing right now?
Yeah, well, I think what you saw out of Johnny is he played more traditional offense as a tight end or an H-back. And, that's something that we had talked about. And the more he can do that, he's a really good athlete as well as being a good football player. So there's so much that he can do. The one pass he catches going down towards the goal line. So we're going to keep working him in there along with our other tight ends, and it gives us the opportunity to go more multiple tight end sets, which we like to do. And then the nice thing is he's in there and you're running your regular offense, and all of a sudden he's behind the center and we're running the Johnny package. So I like that. I think that's going to be something that grows each week. And as Johnny gets more and more comfortable, I think he'll be just a better positional player as well as that, whatever you want to call that Johnny package quarterback. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that growing. And he's a tough guy to bring down. I mean, he 200 and close to 40 pounds. That, and he's an athlete. It's not he's not a lumbering guy. So looking forward to seeing his role grow. All right, guys, thank you.